What's up, everybody? It's Raven with Indie Rebellion, and I decided to kick off the blind fandom reactions with just a brief review of the first two episodes of Hazbin Hotel Season 2. So, in this little video, I'm mostly going to give a very quick overview of the episodes. I'm going to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I hope to see in the next few episodes. So, episode 1 kind of had two plot points going on. We had Charlie continuing her mission with the hotel, and it's swarming with sinners. There are just tons of sinners that are there, that are checking in, and we see it booming. We also see lots of press. They're asking questions. Are you building an army? Are we going to kill the angels? Are we going to take over heaven? Like, all these questions, which are being fueled, which are being fueled by the media, which is controlled by the V's, Vox, Velvet, and Valentino. And that's our B plot, because they are trying to take advantage of the situation, right? They see that this hotel is creating so much buzz, and so they're adding fuel to the fire. They want to see where Charlie is going to stand, where this hotel is going to stand, to see if they can be used. Meanwhile, we have Charlie really struggling with the death of Sir Pentious. And she's struggling to be involved with, like, the running of the hotel. It's mostly Vaggie who's doing the logistics and kind of being the face of everything. And Vaggie's happy to take that role on and tells Charlie as much. And Charlie is really trying to hold on. She's like, no, I'm fine. I don't want all these feelings. I need to keep working. And she ends up just being bombarded by the press. And she has no idea how to answer all of their questions. So her dad, Lucifer, comes to save the day. They have a very awkward but very sweet heart-to-heart. And we learn a lot about their dynamic and about the dynamics of, ruling hell. We learn that Lucifer was really not in charge of it because he's really not that great at it. And he's more elusive and doesn't like the spotlight. And that it was Lilith who mostly ran, hell. And was in charge, did the hard work of it. So, we learned that. We meet this character Baxter, who reminds Charlie of Sir Pentious, and she tries to get him to be kind of the new Sir Pentious, because that's her maladaptive way of coping. She gets another heart-to-heart with Vaggie. They find out that the V's have twisted this narrative because Charlie finally is able to tell everybody, look, we are for redemption. We're not killing angels. So if you're here to do that, you can go. And so the media twisted that into being like, Charlie threatened death if you're not there for her, her idea of what you should be. So come to our sanctuary. That was mostly what happened in episode 1. We also get, at the end, we get Emily from heaven, who comes and tells Charlie, hey, heaven shut down. Also, Sir Pentious is in heaven. Your hotel works. And so, that's pretty much how it ended. Excuse me. Now, the things that I enjoyed about this episode, the music, of course. Hazbin Hotel does not miss with their music, and I really like, I know there's a term for it, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but when you have two parts of a song sung together, and it was such a beautiful clash of ideas, but harmony of voices. And that was really cool to witness and to kind of set this story up. I also really liked how they reestablished the relationships between each other and how real they feel, right? It's not okay, everybody is all comfortable with each other now. Everybody still has that hard edge to them. Even with Charlie and Lucifer, like, he's so awkward. He still doesn't know quite what to do. Charlie still doesn't know quite what to do with him. Like, there's still this bit of distance between them, but you can tell that they're trying. Lucifer is very sweet, is very much trying to be supportive and comforting, and he is. And so that's really good. I love seeing the healthy romantic relationship between Charlie and Vaggie. Again, Vaggie is really being a support. I would like to see Charlie take on that role more, because right now, it's mostly Vaggie carrying a lot of the heavy lifting. And I kind of noticed that in season 1 as well. And it's not that Charlie doesn't care for Vaggie at all, because you can tell that they're both in love with each other, but I think Vaggie ends up taking a lot of the emotional burden and a lot of the supportive role. So I'm hoping to see that dynamic switch up, because I would love to see Vaggie being taken care of and being supported too. Things I didn't quite like about this episode, and it's very small, and I think it's just one specific thing, and it's mostly that Charlie's grief for Sir Pentious is kind of played for laughs a little bit. We have that moment with Frank where he's like, this is where Sir Pentious cried here, and this is where Sir Pentious cried here. And then we have that moment with Baxter, the scientist, where Charlie is like, oh, you're the new Sir Pentious. Welcome, Sir Pentious. Baxter, back Pentious, And it's trying to be funny, but I think it undercuts the actual emotional weight of this and how this connects to Charlie's character, because she does feel things super deeply. And it undercuts it for no reason, because it also doesn't really achieve the goal of levity either. Like, it's not really funny. It falls flat, and it just feels kind of awkward. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed this episode. I think, again, it was more of a momentum builder, but it also reestablished things, because we haven't been in the world for, I think it's been 2 years now. Maybe a year, 2 years? Something like that. So it's been a minute. Also, I found very interesting that Alistair was not really in this, right? He's taking a back seat. He is just watching, and he's very much active in season 1, so I'm very curious about him. I can't get a read on him, and I think that's the allure of his character, but I just wish we got a few more hints. Okay, episode 2 is all about heaven, and more specifically about Sir Pentious being in heaven. And it mostly, it starts out with everybody like, how did you get here? And the speaker of God, who's like this bird-type creature, is asking Sir Pentious about his story. We learn that he was an inventor on Earth, and he was isolated, and he watched this one woman get murdered and did nothing and said nothing, and he could have. And so that's how he ended up right in heaven. And then we learn that he died protecting his friends, his crush, and he was redeemed. And so we see Seraphim really struggling because she was the one who ordered all of the executions of hell denizens, and so she's struggling with that. Lute is furious because she wants revenge for Adam's death. And she's furious because Adam's son, who, Adam hated very, very much, and who is completely different from him, is in charge of the army now. And so we get Lute's Gravity song, which is super powerful. We get Seraphim's song about trying to figure out how to atone for what she's done. And we also get Emily's song with Serpentious. She's trying to say, hey, you're actually not alone here. You can't leave, but it's okay. You're going to find people who like you. We also get to see just how heaven runs, right? Seraphim seems to be the only competent person around there, because St. Peter and Abel, they range from naive to just completely out of the loop. And Lute has her own agenda. We also get to see Lilith again. We see that she's ignoring Charlie's calls and Lucifer's calls. So there's something with that too. I would love to know more about her. Things I really liked about this episode, again, the music. Getting to see just the way heaven really functions. Like, we got to see it in season 1, kind of through the perspective of hell, but to actually be there when, it's just heaven proceedings is very interesting and gives a lot of insight. I really enjoy, the complexity of Serpentious's feelings about being happy that he's redeemed but missing his friends and wanting to go back. Of course, Lute's song was extremely powerful, seeing her grief and how it materializes in hallucinations of Adam. One thing I wished that was different is kind of Emily's behavior. Like, I love her. She's super sweet, super kind, and super bubbly. But I think with what she learned, she seems like she would be more grounded. She still gives off very naive vibes, and it doesn't really fit her character arc. So I'm hoping that as the story progresses, she does too. I'm excited to see what's next. Not a whole lot of predictions or wishes for the next few episodes, but I'm hoping we get to see more of Alistair. I'm hoping that we get to see Emily kind of deal with the reality of what's going on and have to really kind of dig past that optimism and really feel, right? I want to see Charlie kind of expanding and growing into herself, and again kind of taking some of that burden off of Vaggie. I would love to know Vaggie's new name. I can't wait, because she's going on that journey. Excited to see Husk and Angel. Excited to see what the V's come up with, what their plan is, and how they're operating. And yeah, so much to go off of. Do I think these 2 episodes are stronger than season 1's first 2 episodes? No. There are some really great things in these 2 episodes that I really enjoy. But overall, I think season 1 started out a bit stronger. That's not to say, though, that this won't pick up momentum. I have faith that it's going to dig as deep as season 1 did. And one thing that I want to see is them kind of just balancing humor and the drama more carefully, so that we can have the humor moments that are actually really funny and not overshadowed by the seriousness of what's going on. And we can have serious scenes without humor kind of trying to prematurely break the tension and make it have less stakes. So, what did you think of episode 1 and 2 of season 2 of Hazbin Hotel? I would love to hear from you. Make sure that you like this video, drop a comment. You can either comment on this video itself on the Indie Rebellion site it'll be posted on, or on the Facebook page or Instagram. There's plenty of places you can comment, and either one is much appreciated. Tell me also what you want next, and be sure to follow all of the Indie Rebellion social media. Check out the website. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, and I would love for you to be a part of it. All right, until next time.